All right, thank you all for attending. Today we're going to be talking about parenting a child with ADHD, and my name is KatWH Williams. So first, to tell you a little bit, what is ADHD? ADHD is a brain disorder marked by an ongoing pattern of inattentions and or hyperactivity and impulsivity that interferes with functioning of development. Now, some of the three main symptoms of ADHD, which symptoms vary from person to person, but the three main symptoms are: first, inattention. It is keeping your mind on one thing at a time. Many kids with ADHD cannot focus on one task longer than a few minutes at a time. Organizing, completing tasks, and forgetting things easily are difficult for kids suffering from ADHD. The second main symptom is hyperactivity. Always in motion, can't sit still. This symptom affects them in school, being unable to sit still and pay attention to learn. Kids tend to roam the rooms, squirm in their seats, wiggle feet, and touches everything that's in sight. Impulsivity. That's the third one, impulsivity. Kids who are overly impulsive are unable to think before they act, leading to being impatient that causes them to be unable to wait their turn in line or wait for things that they want. Impulsivity also shows the mean side of a child. It also shows the biting and hitting when they get upset. Next, we're going to go into how ADHD in a child affects the at-home environment. First thing is mom and dad's relationship. When you have a child with ADHD, it can become very unmanageable within a household. So it puts a strain on that relationship. We've seen many cases where a child with ADHD, it sometimes gets to a point to where it can break up a marriage. It can cause a lot of different rifts in between the family. Next, also with the siblings in the household, like for example myself, I have a set of 6-year-old triplets. My 6-year-old suffers from ADHD. That within itself causes a rift between the children, because one thing is the child with ADHD, he seeks a little bit more attention from us, so it causes the other ones to feel left out, which causes them to withdraw themselves from, doing family activities. Thirdly, it also can affect the outside world, like your distant family. For example, we went to a family gathering not too long ago, a birthday party, and my 6-year-old, he just was having a bad day, one of his outbreak days. So we get there and he only wants to scream, cry. Nothing was soothing him down, nothing was calming him down, and it caused my family members to not understand the reasoning of his actions. The only thing I can tell them is that he suffers from ADHD, and this is something that we normally, this is something that's common for us. It may be new to you, but it's common for us. They wanted to know, they definitely had a lot of questions. There's nothing I really can answer for them. I just told them, this is something that he suffers from, and even sometimes with medication, there's nothing we can do. We just have to let him get through his outburst. Now, to tell you a little bit of the causes of ADHD, the causes of ADHD is like brain injuries. It can be at birth or even as little as when they're falling off of a jungle gym at school. Also, exposure to environmental issues like lead during pregnancy or even at a young age. Alcohol and tobacco use during pregnancy is one of the causes. Premature delivery, and also low birth rate. Now, scientists and psychologists are still to this day doing plenty of researches, different studies on what are more in-depth causes and what are more things that we can do early on to try to prevent ADHD. But just like every other disorder or cancer, there's still a lot of research that will be done, treatment, over the course of time. Now, to get into some of the treatment options of ADHD, there are different steps that psychologists like to use. They first like to try the behavior therapy. And that's something you do. It can be done at school. It can be done in an outside facility or even in your home. In our case, we go to an outside facility once a week where the child is counseled by himself and also with the family. They teach you different tools, different activities you can do. Also teaches you how to deal with and also punish a child who suffers from ADHD. Because even though ADHD is the cause, there still has to be some type of repercussion for some of the things that a child with ADHD does. Also, a second treatment, which is combined with the therapy, is medication. There are different types of medication that can help control a child with ADHD. I like to tell parents that in the beginning it's always hard because there are different medications. It doesn't always work for every child. With my son, it took 6 different types of medications before we found a good regimen. So like I tell many parents that if you see your child and they show some of the symptoms of ADHD, please take them to the professional to get diagnosed, to make sure that that's an issue, because there is help in the end of the tunnel. Thank you guys for attending. You guys have a great day.